Hi everybody, welcome. Today's video is going to be a little bit different and I'm going to be taking you through my experience getting a chemical peel. So I have been getting chemical peels for years. They are one of my favorite professional skincare treatments, and so I wanted to make this video for those of you who are maybe interested in getting a chemical peel and want to know what the experience and results may look like. So it is Friday night right now. I am on my way to get my chemical peel, and so I wanted to sit down before I go so that you can kind of see the before of my skin, and there are a few things that I wanted to mention as well. So looking at my skin, I know a lot of people are probably wondering why I am getting a chemical peel. I don't have any acne. I don't really have anything that I am looking to target and or correct with this particular peel. But like I said, I have been getting chemical peels for years and they are one of my favorite treatments. They help with a lot of different skincare concerns. If you do have acne, discoloration, fine lines, wrinkles, things like that. I actually started getting chemical peels when I had more moderate acne. They did not cure my acne alone, but that is kind of where I fell in love with chemical peels. And then after I did kind of get my skin under control, I continued to get the chemical peels even after I didn't really have anything that I was treating or targeting, just as kind of a great staple in my skincare routine. My skin tends to kind of go in phases. I, at this point, tend to get chemical peels twice a year, every 6 months or so. It's been actually about 9 months since my last one, so it was just kind of time for a refresh. And there is a certain level of exfoliation that you can only get from chemical peels, and for me, I just kind of feel like my skin is at that point where I need that, and again, just kind of need like an overall refresh for my skin. I kind of, again, go in these phases where I can tell that the physical and chemical exfoliators that I'm using at home just aren't working as well as they sometimes do, again, when I kind of just have like a clean slate. So I am just looking for kind of like an overall refresh, brighten, tone up for my skin. And then not only that, like I said, I do think these are a great staple for me in my skincare routine, for my skincare goals. I am 26, going on 27, so at this point in my life, I am all about kind of the age prevention. Thankfully, I don't really have any signs of aging that I'm looking to target at this point or reverse, so that is why I am trying to prevent as much as I possibly can. So I think kind of the chemical peels are a great way to do that for me as well. The other reason that I'm getting a chemical peel at this particular moment in time is that I am actually getting an IPL or a photofacial treatment done a month from now. And the med spa that I go to, part of their kind of like requirements for the IPL treatment is to first do a chemical peel to help prep your skin. So that was kind of the motive. Again, just aside from not having had one in quite a while, that was part of the reason that I'm getting a chemical peel now, so that my skin will be all prepped and ready to go when I do go back in a month to have that IPL done. So like I said, it's Friday evening now. I'm just getting ready to leave for the peel, so I wanted you to be able to see my skin before. I will zoom you in here in a minute to hopefully show you kind of the state of my skin right now so that you can just get a really good picture of what my skin looks like before and just kind of take you through the overall healing process for this peel. So I actually do not know what kind of chemical peel I am getting today. The Skin Medica Vitalized chemical peel has been my go-to for years. I've probably gotten a dozen of those done, but this particular med spa that I'm going to, this is the first time that I'm actually getting a chemical peel here, and I don't believe that they have it, so I'm actually not sure what kind of chemical peel I'm going to be getting at this moment. They offer kind of like 3 different levels. They offer a basic, intermediate, and deep, and I'm going for the intermediate today, and I am hoping that if they don't have the Vitalized peel that I can kind of get whatever the equivalent to that is. I will ask her once I get there and when she kind of looks at my skin, and then I will let you guys know what I end up getting. But for now, like I said, I just kind of wanted to show you my skin before, so I will get you close. We'll get all nice and personal here so that you can see my skin. Like I already mentioned, there's nothing really specific with this peel that I'm targeting at this moment in time. My skin is looking pretty good, actually. So like I said, I don't know how much of it's really going to translate on camera. It's more so I can just tell when my skin is kind of in need of a little extra something and in need of a refresh. I do have, again, like I don't know if it'll show up on camera or not, I do have like some little red marks just from like breakouts and things. I have a little bit of redness on my chin, but it's nothing drastic. And then I do have just some like kind of clogged pores and blackheads around my nose. Pretty standard stuff. Again, I am filming in 4K if you bump up your quality settings, but I still don't know how much of it's really going to translate on camera.
All right, guys, so I just got done with the peel. I am in my car in the parking lot, and once I get home, I'm going to sit down and I will give you some more details about the peel. They did end up doing a Jessner peel today, but I wanted to just show you really quickly the state of my skin kind of immediately after, because it's about a 25-minute drive for me to get home, and I don't know if my skin's going to calm down any by the time I get there. So again, I just wanted to kind of come on here and show you what my skin looks like immediately after the peel. So it feels comfortable. I'll get into the experience of that in a minute when I get home. But as of right now, basically my skin just feels tight. It's not hot anymore. It's not itchy. I don't really have any irritation. I know it probably looks worse than it feels, but it feels good, just tight. And then as you can see, I do have, I've heard it called frosting before. She called it crystallization. So I just have some of that on like my cheeks and like a little bit on my forehead. That's kind of like, she said, the clinical end point of the peel, and that would kind of like slough off on its own. So yeah, just immediately post peel, this is what we're looking like.
So I'm back home now. There really isn't much change in my skin from what I showed you in my car right after I left the clinic. So again, skin is still red. I still have kind of the crystallization in the places that I mentioned. I'm not exactly sure how long that's supposed to hang around. But yeah, overall, like I said there too, I think my skin probably looks a lot worse than it feels. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just obviously red and it's really tight. That's the main thing right now, especially around like my forehead and my temples. It's just like super tight. So I wanted to just take a minute and kind of walk you through what actually happened and the process of the peel, and then talk really quickly about aftercare as well. So the part that I did not film, when I got there, I was not wearing any makeup, but she did still double cleanse my skin and then put Vaseline around the corners of my eyes, the inner corners of my eyes, right around like the creases on my nose and then on my lips. And then she just degreased my skin with an alcohol pad before going in with the actual peeling solution that you saw. So again, I got the Jessner peel. So with this one, it was 2 layers of the peel. What basically happened is she put the first layer on, which you saw in the clip, and then I waited for about 5 minutes. The best way to describe that, I like the word she used, was kind of spicy. So my skin overall felt hot and tingly, but it wasn't actually like super unbearable. I didn't need to use a fan or anything. The places that it really, like I could feel it on my skin, were around my mouth and then kind of like right on my jawline as well. So based on the kind of experience that I had with the first pass and how long it took for that kind of like hotness to come down on my skin, she had basically said that the peel kind of did what it was supposed to do in those areas and I didn't need a second layer there. So like I said, about 5 minutes later, she went back with the second pass of the peel solution and she focused it only on the areas that needed it. So on my forehead and then kind of on my cheeks and my nose. So those were the areas that got 2 layers and then everywhere else just got 1. And then once both layers are done, that is it. So with other peels that I've gotten in the past, they put like another solution on top. With this one, that was it. It was just 2 layers, up to 2 layers of the peel, and then you're done. It does not rinse off, so the peel is still like on my skin now, and it is late, so it is almost 8 o'clock on Friday night, so I'm not supposed to wash this off, so I will just go to bed with this on my skin tonight. I am supposed to avoid like heat on my face, hot water, hot tubs, saunas, things like that, and then in the morning she said I can just wash my skin with a gentle cleanser and cool water. So that's what I'm gonna do. Again, this is kind of immediately post peel. I will show you tomorrow morning what my skin looks like after I wash it. My guess, I've never actually gotten the Jessner peel before. My guess is tomorrow my skin's just gonna look really like dry and tight, and it won't actually be until likely Sunday that I will actually start peeling. So again, I've never gotten this peel before. I'm not entirely sure what to expect. That's just my best guess, is that my peeling will actually start sometime on Sunday. Just a couple other things I want to mention about the peel really quickly is that I do live in Salt Lake City, so I did go to Spa Trouvé. That is where I had this done. If you are in the valley and familiar with the area, that is where I went to have this done. And again, this was the Jessner peel. They do consider it an intermediate peel, and it was $150. All right, you guys, so this is my skin the morning after the peel. I'm going to consider this day 1. It is Saturday today because I got the peel really late last night. I did wash my face already with a gentle cleanser, and I did go ahead and apply some moisturizer as well. As you can see, all of the crystallization and frosting is gone. That was gone when I woke up this morning, and then really the only side effect is kind of I'm left with a lot of redness. You can see kind of some of these little red patches over here. And then when I did wash my face this morning, it did hurt a little bit. I would say it kind of felt like a mild sunburn, just like a little bit sensitive to the touch in certain areas. I think it was kind of in those areas that I did have the frosting where it went really deep. So anyway, nothing too uncomfortable. I do still have a bit of tightness on my face, especially on my forehead and kind of around my temples. Everywhere else for the most part is pretty comfortable. So again, this is kind of day 1 immediately after the peel, after washing my skin and applying moisturizer. I am going to go ahead and layer on a thick layer of SPF today. I do have to run some errands, and my skin is going to be extra sensitive to the sun over the next few weeks. So I'm going to make sure to layer up the sunscreen really well to protect my skin, but I don't expect really any other changes in my skin for today. I think this is probably what I'm going to be dealing with for the rest of the day. My guess is that it won't be until a little bit later tomorrow on day 2 that I'm actually going to start to notice some peeling, but of course I will update you as soon as there are any changes. Okay, so it is now day 3. Please excuse the towel. I just got out of the shower, but this is my skin, again, kind of morning of day 3, so it is Sunday today. I have not yet moisturized my skin, so this is just fresh out of the shower after cleansing. I don't know if you can tell, but my skin is super tight, and this is kind of exactly where I would have expected it to be. I foresee this area kind of like around my mouth starting to crack at any moment and start peeling. Again, pretty much exactly like I expected. Overall, just very tight and very dry feeling. I don't know if you'll be able to see up on my forehead, just kind of how tight and dehydrated my skin is, but again, most of the tightness is kind of around my mouth and on my forehead. I'm going to go ahead and just apply my moisturizer, but I do expect, like I said, this area kind of around my mouth to start kind of cracking and peeling later today. So I will likely be back to check in with you when that happens. Okay, it is now day 3. It is the morning of day 3, so it is Monday morning now. I know I said that I would do a check-in yesterday, but I didn't actually start peeling, and there was really no change in my skin from the time that I made the update yesterday. So here we are again, Monday morning of day 3, and you can see that finally I'm starting to kind of crack a little bit right around my mouth. Everything is super tight, so this is my skin. I did cleanse this morning. I have not moisturized yet, but once I moisturize, it's hard to tell kind of what's actually going on my skin. So that's why I'm not moisturizing yet. But anyway, obviously around my mouth is super tight to the point that I can barely open my mouth. I kind of yawned this morning when I woke up, and I could feel kind of my skin cracking a little bit. I know that sounds very unpleasant, but anyway, yeah, it's just very tight around here. I know I said it yesterday, but now I can really tell where all of a sudden this portion of my face right here is going to start kind of peeling and start flaking, and that's usually what happens to me. Usually it doesn't take this long though. With other peels that I have done, usually I would have started peeling 24 hours ago. So I don't know, that's already kind of a difference that I'm seeing, where this one just is seeming to take a little bit longer to actually get to the peeling. I was a little bit worried yesterday when there was no change in my skin that I wasn't actually going to peel from this one, which is a possibility. They can't guarantee that you're actually going to peel, and I think I mentioned this at the beginning. Obviously everybody's skin is going to react different to chemical peels too. So anyways, this is where we are at for now. Again, I know I said the same thing yesterday, but I imagine that I will be back at some point today to update you again on more peeling, but very tight, especially around my mouth. My forehead is still pretty tight as well. Cheeks feel relatively comfortable. My skin does feel kind of like sandpaper a little bit, smooth sandpaper, if that makes sense. I can feel dry skin texture on my face. So anyway, this is where we are at, and I will probably actually be back later today, this time with more peeling. So it is still day 3. It is the afternoon now, and I am back with another update. I am in front of my window again, kind of like crouched in the corner to get my skin in natural light here. I don't know if this will help you kind of see my skin a little bit better than under the lights in where I like have my studio where I film. So anyway, still kind of the same thing. I'm still feeling very tight. Honestly, I am not peeling as much as I thought that I would be at this point in time. I think the only reason I'm like discouraged by that is because I'm just like a very impatient person. So I just kind of want like peeling to like get going so I can kind of like start healing from this. But anyway, it's just like really uncomfortable around my mouth, and it's been like this for the last 2 days. So I think that's why I'm just extra eager to, again, kind of like get this going. But again, you can see here, I do have a little bit more peeling and flaking starting in these areas that I pointed out earlier today, right around my mouth. And everywhere else seems to be getting even tighter. Like you can kind of tell on my forehead here. I thought of a better word, so I told you that my skin felt like sandpaper earlier today, and that was a really bad description. It actually feels leathery. That is the best way I can describe this, and it kind of looks like I'm like I don't know. This is probably what I would look like when I'm like older. You can kind of see here too, like when I make like faces and things, you can tell just how tight it is. This one just seems like it's going to take a really long time. It seems like it's going to be peeling really slowly, so this video might be longer than I initially anticipated it to be. All right, so it is now the morning of day 4. I just washed my face, and this is kind of where we're at. Obviously, you can see there's a ton of peeling happening around my mouth and kind of like on my chin still. I came out here because I was looking at some of the footage last night in the room where I film, and I felt like under those lights it was a lot harder to tell the state of my skin and like how much peeling was going on. I'm really sorry if I'm squinting. The light is super bright because I'm right in front of a window. But anyway, yeah, hopefully this gives you a better kind of picture of my skin and where it's at. Obviously, we've got a lot of peeling going on around here. This is kind of where the gross part starts. But yeah, the skin is like really hard and it's still really tight, but there has been some relief in the tightness now that my skin has kind of like cracked. It is unfortunate because it is early right now, but I do have a couple of Zoom meetings today for work, so I'm not sure how noticeable this is actually going to be on like a Zoom video, but oh well. So anyway, I just wanted to take a second really quickly and share what I'm using like post peel with you. So as far as a cleanser, I'm just using my Cetaphil Daily Facial Cleanser. This is just kind of like a normal, gentle cleanser. So this is what I use to cleanse my skin while I'm peeling. And then my go-to moisturizer is my Cetaphil Daily Oil-Free Hydrating Lotion. So I also use this while I'm peeling as well. Depending on, after this skin around my mouth peels, depending on how like dry I'm left feeling underneath, I may or may not go in with like a thicker moisturizer. I'll share that with you if I do, but for now these are just the 2 products that I'm using, keeping it really simple. Obviously no other exfoliators, no serums, nothing like that while I am peeling. Okay, here we are at day 5 already. So as you can see, still most of the peeling is happening around my mouth, and it's just kind of like slowly working its way back onto my cheeks, and still everything else just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So yeah, no relief on my forehead yet. It just continues to look very, very leathery and very scaly, but the peeling hasn't started there yet. If I'm being honest, this is the slowest peel progression that I have ever experienced. I mean, it's doing its thing. I'm trying not to touch it and just leave it alone, but I don't know. At this rate, I feel like I'm still going to be peeling for another like 4 to 5 days, which is going to put me like well over a week. So we will see. So far with this, my skin hasn't really hurt or been sensitive. Sometimes when this like new fresh skin starts to come through, it can be a little bit like tender and again kind of feel like a sunburn. I haven't had any of that happening this time. The new skin like underneath the peel has been pretty good, like very comfortable. The main things that I'm just experiencing again are the tightness, and then I have been getting some itchiness as well. So I'm starting to itch kind of around here and like on my forehead as well, but I'm trying my best to keep my hands off of it because I'm not supposed to like pick at it or peel it, but it's really, really hard. All right, and here we are again. It is now the morning of day 6, so it is Thursday morning now. It has been a struggle to find the right lighting this morning, so I am again in front of my window. I apologize if you're getting a bunch of shadows, but I did film this entire update in the other room only to realize that you really couldn't see anything on my skin. Whoops. So anyway, just again, like, we're kind of at the same place here, slowly but surely making progress. There is a significant amount of like flaking happening now on my cheeks. I'll let the camera focus here for a minute so that you can see it. Yeah, just a lot of flaking as this is kind of like coming back. Most of the peeling has finished around my mouth. I have just like a little bit of like residual dryness kind of in some areas, and then same thing over here. I've got flaking kind of working its way back on my cheek as well. And then good news is that my forehead, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, it's just like really, really subtle, but there has been some kind of like breaking up on my forehead. So I assume that that'll kind of like start the flaking and peeling process on my forehead as well. So again, I guess like no real updates, same kind of progress. It's been pretty consistent. It's been taking a very long time, but we already knew that. So I have a feeling, tomorrow's going to be day 7, but I have a feeling that my skin will still be like this for a couple more days, just with the way the flaking is going. One observation that I have about this peel as compared to others, I already mentioned this, but I've never gotten a Jessner peel before. So going through this process and figuring out how my skin was going to react and how the peeling was going to be, it's been a surprise to me this entire time too, but yeah, just one observation compared to other peels that I've gotten is that this peel experience is actually a lot more comfortable than a lot of other peels that I have gotten. And what I mean by that is, again, it's like the skin is very dry and it's flaking, but with other peels, my skin has always been left feeling very tender, very sensitive. It hurts a little bit. A lot of the skin, again, with other peels, when it kind of like actually peels off, the skin underneath has been left feeling very raw and it's like very fresh skin. So again, it usually is very sensitive. It's a little bit more painful, and it has like burn from time to time when I've used just regular cleanser and moisturizer, just because again, like the skin is that fresh. But I have not actually experienced that kind of discomfort with this. Again, it's just like it's very dry skin and it's very flaky. I don't even know if I would like call it peeling because it's just like big flakes of skin. So I don't know. That's how I'm reacting to this one. Again, I have not gotten a Jessner peel before, so I have since done some research, and again, the med spa that I went to, they consider this Jessner peel a medium strength peel, and I do not know the brand of it, but the makeup of the one that I got, for those who are curious, is it was equal parts, so it was 15% salicylic acid, 15% lactic acid, and 15% resorcinol. So that was the makeup of the Jessner peel that I got. Again, everybody's skin is going to react differently. It's going to react differently to different peels, to different ingredients. I'm still not sure how I feel about this one. I'm just very impatient. I know I've mentioned that before too, which is why I'm just like, I hate that this is dragging on so long and that it's probably going to take at least a couple of more days, but I will be back with additional updates, I'm sure. It is now Friday morning, so it's the morning of day 7. Again, here I am, freshly cleansed skin. Really, there's no major updates other than the fact that my forehead has pretty much completely started flaking. So like I mentioned yesterday, I think it's been 1 week today. I thought I would be making my final update now, but I think it's still going to take a couple of days for the rest of this dead skin to kind of slough off. I don't anticipate, though, like any major updates as far as peeling goes. I'll just show you my skin here really quick. So again, there really isn't like peeling. It's more so just a lot of like really heavy flaking, if that makes sense. Like again, very just dry skin, like little flakes that are coming off, not so much like peeling skin. And then like I said too, just on my forehead, obviously now all of that has started flaking as well. So I don't anticipate, like I said, any like major changes in my skin from now until kind of like the end of the peel process. I think it's just going to continue flaking just like this. So I'm going to speed through these next couple of updates, and then hopefully the next time I see you will only be in a couple more days, and I will give you the final update on my skin. All right, you guys, here we are with the final update. So it is now Monday, which makes this day 10. And I did skip the last couple of updates because honestly, there just wasn't much change since day 7. So I continued to have just flaking on my forehead and on my cheeks as it was kind of like working its way back. I still have just like a little bit of residual flaking up near my hairline, but I am calling this good enough, or this video is just going to keep going on and on and on. So anyway, no real changes since then, except now all of the flaking is pretty much done. So again, this is day 10. I am calling this complete. So here is my skin post peel now. Again, I will zoom you in here and get you nice and close so that you can see my skin. Make sure that you do bump up your quality settings as well and watch in 4K if you really want to see everything. So again, this is kind of the state of my skin now post peel. I do have some thoughts. I know that a lot of this video, everything that I've been saying has been pretty redundant, but I am going to do just a short recap if you skipped over any parts of this so that all the information is kind of right here for you. So again, I did get a Jessner chemical peel. This is considered a medium strength peel at the spa that I went to. Again, for those of you who missed it, it is 15% lactic acid, 15% salicylic acid, and 15% resorcinol. That is the makeup of the peel. So just overall, as far as the results go, I do feel like the clarity of my skin has improved. I feel like it's like brightened and balanced, if that makes sense. As I mentioned at the beginning, I wasn't really targeting anything specific, so there's nothing I can really like point to and say, yes, it corrected that, or no, it didn't. If you remember, I did have some little red spots over here. Those have been diminished, but they are not gone. I didn't expect them to be completely gone, but they are diminished a little bit. And then I do have this little mark up here. This is unfortunately a blemish that was just like a really small clogged pore, and I picked at it and made it way worse. So this was not necessarily a result of the peel. This is a result of me picking at my skin, which is a big no-no. Aside from that, I don't know how much else is going to really translate on camera for you guys. Most of what I experienced and kind of the results of this peel for me are more so things that I can just tell by like touching my skin. Obviously my skin is super soft. It feels really smooth. I do feel like I got the top layer kind of off of my skin, and I have since started using my serums again. I do feel like those penetrate a little bit better. I used one of my glycolic serums last night, and I felt like I woke up and I could tell that it had actually like gotten into my pores and helped kind of target some different things on my skin. So again, that was one of my kind of goals with that. It was just an overall refresh. I do feel like I achieved it. I did mention this as well, but I feel like just in terms of the peeling process and intensity, for me, this was one of the milder like peeling experiences that I had. As you could see too, I didn't really have any peeling per se. It was more so my skin just got super dry and super tight, and then it all kind of flaked off. And then I mentioned this as well, but the skin underneath was left feeling very comfortable. It wasn't super raw. It wasn't super painful. Overall, again, like aside from the tightness, it was pretty comfortable. As far as whether or not I would get this peel again, at this point in time, I'm not sure. Although this was a very like pleasant peel experience for me compared to some others, I do feel like I get even better results with the Skin Medica Vitalized peel like I mentioned before. That one for me is more of a true peeling experience where my skin like actually peels off, my face hurts a little bit, and I feel like it goes just a little bit deeper than the Jessner peel went. I think for, again, like the state of my skin right now, the Jessner peel was great, just because I didn't really have anything that I needed it to target or correct. If you guys like these kinds of videos and you want to see the Skin Medica Vitalized peel, let me know, because in a couple of months when it's time for another peel, I might try to get that one, and then I can just kind of show you the difference in peel processes and results and how that compares. So yeah, there was absolutely nothing wrong with this Jessner peel. I think it was just different than I expected, and it was a different peel process than I had ever experienced before. All of that being said though, my main goals were accomplished. I did get the refresh that I was looking for, and my skin is also prepped for the Photofacial that I'm going to be having done in a couple of weeks. All right, you guys, this video is long enough, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it here. Again, this was filmed over multiple different days, and I touched on a lot of different things at different points in this video, but if there is anything that I didn't mention that you are still curious about, leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.